you think the election in 2020 was rigged?
Not rigged, but I believe it was interfered. And the reason why I say that, because rigged would be from the beginning that it was started. The reason why a lot of people that I've talked to believe that it was is because when Biden was doing his speaking to the community while running, he says, "I don't need you to go and vote for me. I need you after that." And so people are like, "Well, so you already have it set up to where you're going to win?" Now, the other thing is this: anyone who knows the sports and as a huge Boston fan, I know the arenas, they go through a very, very, very detailed process. They have a very specific process before a game can even be played. And the federal government goes even further. They check everything, pipes everything. There cannot be any even possible situation that occurs in order for them to then, before they go into there. So when they use that arena, and I think it was Atlanta, that basketball arena to do the counting of the ballots, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, they claim a pipe burst. And within hours later, all of a sudden you have hundreds of thousands of votes for a Democrat. Look,
that can easily be explained because the Democrat votes come in later because they're vote by mail, right? So that's typically how it works with that. But then how would you...
I do say that is possible in a way. However, the amount of it to be just like almost exclusively, not all of them were, but to have like I'd say 90% of them to be Democrat.
But then how would you account for the fact?
And if that was a Republican, if a Republican had that, I would question Republican. Same thing. It's like if you have mafia on trial, and all of a sudden mafia was deciding who's going to be the next mafia leader, and the public was able to see it, and we found out that one mafia leader had so much more out of something happened that shouldn't have happened, then we would think that the mafia did.
But how would you account for the fact that Trump filed over 60 lawsuits, half of them in front of Republican judges, and about a dozen of them in front of Trump appointees? Every single one of the court cases was laughed at, including by the judges that Trump appointed himself.
Again, without having the facts in front of me.
Just assuming what I'm saying is true.
Well, I still don't do it because I know how a lot of people, I'm not saying you specifically, but I am saying a lot of journalists and media, they use certain information and they edit certain information, they post out certain information. That makes the person look as if they were saying one thing and not another thing. So without the actual facts in front of me.
Yeah, you can easily fact check that every single one of the cases was laughed out of court, including by Trump appointed judges.
Yeah, but then
even Trump appointed judges were like, there's no merit here.
You have to ask the question, why doesn't the Democrat media, why don't they show all the things that Joe Biden did? Like when Trump was saying that Joe Biden had committed plagiarism, they said he didn't do it. When they said that Joe Biden had got kicked out, well, he had to drop out of a race twice for presidential for making racist comments in the past. And Democrats said that's not true. And on the campaign trail, Joe Biden said that's not true when going against Trump.
Well, so Fox, for example, Fox talks about that. Generally speaking, the Fox News is the propaganda of the Republicans, and CNN, MSNBC is the propaganda of the Democrats. But that's kind of neither here or there to this thing. I guess the last final point is that, do you think in 2016 the election was also interfered with when Trump won?
Well, number one, they say that Russia had something to do with it. You have to look at the fact that...
No, just what do you think?
No, because the only thing, you have to look at what the accusations were and then evaluate the accusations to see if they were legitimate or not. So that's what I'm saying. So like in 2020, it was clearly possible for it to be interfered. Plus, there was a lot of people that...
But 2016, you don't think it's possible?
Not at all whatsoever. And,
okay.
and the only accusation that the Democrats had was Russia. But then
I'm actually not talking about Democrats. How do you account for the fact that Trump, right before the election, kept saying that this election is rigged, this election is stolen, this election is a big fix, before he actually won? Literally days before that, he was making those comments.
I did not hear him say that. And
if I was to show you a video of that, would that change your mind?
As long as it's not edited, yeah.
All right, let's take a look. So yeah, this is a speech before the election.
Tweet today alleging large-scale voter fraud. Major Garrett is on his campaign.
But that's CBS. That's CBS. That's CBS.
No, listen to what he's saying.
It's not the whole speech.
But just listen to this part.
It's not the whole speech. That's what I'm saying.
But he's saying the election is rigged.
It's not the whole speech, and you're taking it from CBS.
But he's saying he's saying it's rigged.
It's not, dude. You can't take stuff out of context. The interview's over.
Wait, what's the context for the election is rigged?
Bro, you can't come up to me showing me a Democrat site and showing me a video.
It's Trump speaking himself. You're just gonna dismiss that? Just no.
I look facts. If you want to go over the whole interview, we'll go over the whole interview. Don't show me.
But he's literally Trump himself saying. Okay, typical Trump fan.
I trust you now. Go ahead. Yeah, you keep going. I trust you now.
The election is rigged. It's rigged like you've never seen before.
It is a searing indictment.